she made motherhood look fun, even when my brothers and I drove her crazy. I didn't want to be just any mom. I wanted to be a mom like her, the kind of mom who played hide and seek, who went trick-or-treating even when it was freezing cold, who told her kids to roll down the car windows and scream it out to let off steam, and who gave lay-down time to all 3 of her kids every single night, rubbing our backs for what felt like hours just so we could fall asleep feeling safe and loved. I was in 7th grade and was as excited as anyone in our family about my aunt's new baby. I couldn't wait to meet him, but waiting is exactly what you do in the waiting room, and nobody knew how long it would take. When Lisa's husband, my Uncle Burton, came out to see us, he looked exhausted. The contractions seemed to have stopped, he told us. Did we want to go say hello? In the hospital room, my aunt did look exhausted, but she also looked beautiful, with her hair all messy and her skin glowing with sweat. "Hi, Megan," she said with a smile, and then she was screaming bloody murder. A contraction had started, and my mother grabbed her little sister's hand and didn't let go. Nurses I hadn't even noticed surrounded the bed, and everyone seemed to forget I was there. I didn't want to leave, but I didn't know whether I could stay. Luckily, Lisa noticed I was still there, fear and excitement on my face. "Megan's still here," she shouted, and my mom looked up, surprised. I nodded to her, hoping she wouldn't send me back out into the waiting room. "Megan," Mom said, "you can stay, but you're going to need to mature real fast. You're going to see everything. Only stay in this room if you can handle that, promise?" "I promise," I said, and I stepped up beside my aunt's bed to hold her other hand. I'm pretty sure that the rest of my friends spent their weekend watching TV, but I was a child doula helping my aunt give birth, and I was loving it. When the nurses told her it was time to push, Uncle Burton looked like he was about to pass out. So my mom and I held each one of Lisa's legs and counted down from 10, screaming, "Push!" when we hit 1. My mom wasn't lying. I saw everything. I saw a doctor put his fingers in my aunt's vagina when the contractions were getting closer together. I saw the crazy look in her eye when the doctor told her to push harder. I saw what came out of her when she started pushing. And it wasn't just a baby. "You're doing great!" I screamed, even though I had no way of knowing if that was true. "Let's get this baby out of you." I saw the top of baby Marcus's head started to emerge, and I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. Lisa's entire body was transforming and shifting and expanding to push out a brand new person. She was amazing. This experience was amazing. And when Marcus finally squeezed out, I'm sorry, but it's really the only word for it, I felt terrible. His face was squished. He had a cone head. All that work, and my aunt had a little alien? Seeing my face and reading my mind, a nurse told me that this is what all babies look like at first. And soon my cousin would be cute. Marcus was already pressed against my aunt's bare chest, and she was crying into his head. A long, alien-like umbilical cord pressed between them, pulsating. The doctor asked Lisa's husband if he wanted to cut the cord, but he shook his head. So the doctor passed me the giant scissors. I was so excited. I started imagining my future career as a nurse. Maybe other kids would have been freaked out, but I was honored and humbled by the entire experience. So much so that I showed up to do the same thing on purpose when Lisa had another baby a few years later. And even though I'd seen her do it before, it was me who cried when she delivered her next child. I'm sure my parents were convinced I was destined to be a doula or a teen mom. No shade. That's one of the best reality shows of all time. But I was never in a hurry to be a mother. I just knew it was waiting for me on the other side of some invisible door. I didn't know that it was possible to miss people you haven't met yet. But by my 20s, I longed for my children. If you ever saw me in Target crying at the sight of diapers when I was just 22, I'm sorry if I ruined your shopping trip. Personally, I thought I was crazy. Why am I crying about diapers when I don't even have a husband yet? I asked my therapist, preparing to be told I was in the midst of losing my mind. Because you're already mothering your future children, she told me, with absolutely zero judgment. Isn't that beautiful? I wasn't weird. I was mothering. This was already a part of my identity, and I didn't need to be ashamed of it just because I was young and only dreaming about my future. That acceptance meant that when I met my now husband, Daryl, I wasn't afraid to tell him what I wanted. Marriage, kids, and a family. I wrote a song called Marry Me 1 month into dating him and sang it to him in our hotel room while I was on tour. A tad aggressive, sure, but I walked down the aisle to that same song. As I write this, I'm mothering a very real baby named Riley. He has my eyes and his dad's red hair, and he has both our hearts clenched in his little...